One and all, welcome to Crusader Kings II. First things first, thank you for your patience with the lack of episode yesterday. Been very busy, both with, of course, the main channel working on that new Rimworld mod pack. I've also kind of made a pact this year with myself. I'm going to try and not miss any days of uploading. Not pushing myself to the absolute limit, but I want to make sure that every day has something to watch, even if that something is just, in the case of the past couple of days on the main channel, just vanilla Rimworld. So that's kind of what I've been aiming to do, and that's my kind of, I don't know, 2022 challenge, if you want to call it that. However, because of that, I lost time everywhere else. Taxes had to be sorted out right at the end of January, even though I had submitted and filed them. You still have to kind of go in and pay for them too, which turns to be a nightmare, because etc, doesn't really matter. So, what have I done in the meantime? And of course, I had to take all of your suggestions from the end of yesterday's episode, or last episode, where we are maneuvering ourselves to be able to reform the religion for a second time. Of course, you can't reform it after. It's already been reformed once before. But we can, through the power of modding, try and recreate that as best as possible. So I said to you all, what did you want to see from a newly reformed, custom-made religion? And honestly, it kind of worked out well for the purposes of the campaign entirely, because it meant we weren't limited by Paradox's fairly boring and fairly bog standard reformation system. I can make everything custom, which I have very much done for you all based on your feedback. So that is something we'll do today. I won't spoil it all now, and I'll talk about it when and if we get there. Just because I have made it doesn't mean it's guaranteed, of course. We need 10,000 wealth, 10,000 prestige, and 5,000 piety. If you're thinking, boy, didn't you have 10,000 wealth at the end of last episode? The answer is yes, but I also have fixed all of our wonders, as you might notice. So, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, and it might have been actually where I reset the Dungeon Master out of everything, because I stripped a lot of stuff out of the save game to make it work again. When I set that up, I might have accidentally knocked something, you know, like missed a bracket somewhere, which obviously wipes out our great works. I have rebuilt them as best as I can remember. The only issue is, for whatever reason, I can't rename them. The button just doesn't do anything. So we have the Colossus back in the Isle of Man, the statue on the Faroe Islands. We're building a horse statue on Shetland. Apparently that's gone independent, so we'll take that back at some point. But more importantly, you have to be a lunatic to build a horse statue, which we can't do. We have the library in Baseland, from where we were a wizard, or one of our characters were a wizard. Of course, we have the temple in G-Eastland. In Nan-Eastland, we have the palace of the Godslayer dynasty. And finally, the great city, the City of Wonders here in Dong-Eastland. I don't think they're perfect. I don't think they're a one-to-one recreation of where we were, but they're close enough that I'm not really too bothered. I couldn't remember how much money we started with either, so I just thought, honestly, money really doesn't matter. Sure, we might have lost 6,000 wealth or whatever. It's really not a big deal, because we'll make that back just trying to get the piety light today. So that's it. That is what we're aiming for here, and then you guys will see what, and I basically built it entirely from your suggestions too. I just have very little of myself injected into it, winky face. So begin reforming the Germanic faith, of course. 5,000 piety is the big one. Now in the background, we are also working on the Wolf Warriors, which we are filling up the legend bar pretty fast. I think it's going to be close, but this guy should be able to do it. We're 51. We're going to be quite long-lived, I think, with this guy, because we've had a lot of health benefits, a lot of health bonuses with this dude. We're brawny as well, and we could always flip over to, say, hunting. We have been a theologian all our life, but in much the way that Thanos, when he had completed his life goal, spoilers for Infinity War, sat down on his farm and did a little farming. I think our guy, if he were to reform and rebuild the religion, remove the corruption of Sweden, remove the corruption of the Fylka, and if he were to rebuild the religion, I think he deserves a retirement. So if we go into rulership or seduction or anything at that point, whatever, I think he deserves it. You know, I think that's well within the character. So let's get on with it then. Quietly keeping an eye in the background, like I said, on that legend bar. That will happen when it happens. I'd love to duel you. Why can't we? You're too recently involved in a duel. Okay, so we'll deal with that in a minute. So we've just got to get piety. So that is bloots, or blots as it's spelled in this game. Any sort of sacrifice where it becomes evident when we are out there raiding, that type of thing. Our troops are ready. Did we recently raid? Oh, it's all recovered if we did. Northern, I was going to say it's the northern coast of Europe there. Continental Europe anyway. So let's get back out there. Let's get piety building up, and let's get our wealth back where it should be. Again, the wealth I think will take no time at all. We'll get 10,000 prestige. What happened to our prestige? I thought we already had 10,000 prestige. Maybe I'm misremembering. There might have been some side effect again of having to rebuild the wonders or whatever else. Oh, the other thing I did that I forgot to show off is we were talking in, you've got like kind of a small group of people who help with beta testing. kind of CK2 mods, feedback with some changes that we've been doing to the Dungeon Master specifically, stuff like that. And there was always an option for the Dungeon Master mod when Kickflip made it off-map to show that off-map power, as you might notice down here. I thought it was so useful a bugging tool, being able to see the Dungeon Master. I'm not sure this has been pushed into the full release yet, or whether or not we even will push it into the full release. But I thought it was such a useful debug tool to be able to see the Dungeon Master in the off-map that I polish it up and I made him a full off-map screen. This, whatever this is here, isn't my fault. This is from one of the portrait mods we got broken. You can see the Dungeon Master in his current form. It's a little bit broken in this compared to how it is supposed to be in the version on GitHub is more polished, so he has custom policies. This isn't on the screen, because obviously that's just showing China, whereas it shouldn't be there. We were probably going to have, I floated the idea of maybe showing, as a reminder, what the final event, like the last event that Dungeon Master Fire was, so keeping track of that. Maybe showing the amount of events he's fired in total. I thought that'd be kind of fun, whatever stats we can throw there. Just to kind of show that he's got that presence still. Kind of miss him just being someone you could track down, but there he is. Dungeon Master of the Dungeon Master. Wowee. I don't know why it says Dungeon Master, not like Dungeon, but something that can be fixed in like 2 seconds, so I'm not too bothered. But I thought that was kind of fun just to have him there, omnipresent in a sense. And to be honest, the prestige, going back to that a second, we're already at 7,000 right now. Ooh, piety, please. We've got that going for us right now, and to be honest, the amount of money we need is obviously higher than the amount of prestige, and it's 1-to-1. For every 1 gold you loot, you get 1 prestige, so it's going to be pretty easy, right? Let him rot. Let him rot. We'll see about sacrifices later on. Obviously, we're not bloody gods anymore, or bloodthirsty gods, that's the name of the doctrine, or anything like that, so it's only when we get offered the ability to sacrifice as we raid more than anything else. What we might end up getting, though, is, we can actually check, can't we? Sea King. We're actually almost there. I kind of wish I hadn't checked it now. 93 out of 100. Fantastic news. In all of about 2 seconds' time, we'll get that. I think that comes with some piety, right, if you're Norse. I don't remember. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just prestige. I don't remember whether they kind of tie it back to the religion or anything like that, but we'll see in a second, won't we? Literally a second. I think it'll take us all of about 2 more raids here. Boats are almost full, so that'll tick off our gold and our prestige to the gods. And actually, we're almost done with the piety too. This is going to be quick going today. There it is. You are known as the Sea King, for you can take whatever you want anywhere in the wild waves, be it on the rock or sand. No man sails the ship better, no man fights more fiercely, and no man is held more in fear. We've had that twice now, so I'll let it duke them out between one another for who actually gets that title. So Sea King, does that give piety? It gives prestige. Yeah, I thought so. Raid more to find a Viking bloodline. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply anymore because we already have an active Viking bloodline. That being the Blood of the Tempest there, so tragically we can't get that for a second time. If you already have a bloodline basically with a particular flag, which is kind of an invisible marker for code purposes on it, you can't get it again. There are mods that allow you to get around that though. Kind of tend to throw it in my own kind of polish mod, like the ability to toggle things like that, like be able to forge unlimited bloodlines and shit will be quite fun. Actually, we're done, aren't we? We might as well fill the ships up. Fuck it. I'm here in the neighborhood now. Hello. 100 round. Thank you for free. I like that. Our mission got cancelled. I guess she must have died. 50 more piety. Great news. Couchable Lance. Caravan. We've stolen their caravan. Great news. Then we could go on a very easy, cheap trip to Butlins. I don't think we're allowed to take your own caravans, Butlins. I have been to Butlins. I'm not like... I'm not middle class. Come on now. Butlins, just to clarify. Very confusing. Sorry, I'm filling in here with non-CK2 related chat because there isn't really much to talk about here. We're just burning the French as is what we want to do here. Butlins is like a kind of cheap family resort, I guess you would consider it here in the UK. You generally get like a chalet, like a little kind of bungalow type thing. They're quite fun when you're like 6 because they've got like arcades and shit. I remember watching Chicken Run in a Butlins many years ago. 11,000 prestige, 11,000 wealth. We do need that 330 piety, but then we've done it. We might just get an event. We might get very lucky. Let's see if there's a decision quickly then. Anything that we could have taken continence. Adapting sexual abstinence for whatever reason still will give you piety, even if you aren't Christian. Obviously, that's it. That's an inherently Christian thing, continence or abstinence. But regardless of, because of the, I think a mod adds this decision. It will just give you extra piety. Well, I suppose we could just go and raid England. The old faithful. Shouldn't take us too long to tick this off, especially at the rate we're going. One more lap like that and we should be good. What's the moral authority of Old Germanic at this point? So, when religion kicks in, I've added a kind of custom conversion system. Normally the way it works is you reform a religion and characters are all given a choice where they either convert or they don't. And that's based on a few stats, whether or not they're zealous, they're cynical. That's it. I fleshed it out pretty significantly by comparison. So that because this is kind of a personality-led reformation of our character, of course, kind of spearheading the whole movement, characters' opinion of us, whether or not they're foes or friends, their kind of relation to the cultures involved in that, both to Han and Norse, will play a part. If they're more Norse, for example, if they have Swedish culture, they're less likely to convert than someone who has Han-Norse culture. So it's been very, very unnecessarily complicated, shall we say. Your Marshal, High Chief Smith Zilly of Orkney, has put forward a plan for experimentation. My man, I'll pay any money for experimentation. That's a sound clip I've just put out there on the internet forever. 4,796. We are so painfully close, please. Come on. Just let me have this, for God's sake. 4,809. Fuck, we're gonna have to do another run? God damn you. Okay, well, I mean, look, the money is thick and fast. That's why I wasn't concerned about losing the money on those wonders, like I said, even though I could have made a note at the end of last episode or gone back and watched it. Ah! After finding several months, you finished your own book. It has been widely praised by scholars as a masterpiece. Wow. My very own book. We lose slothful, arbitrary, wrath, envious, deceitful, lustful, greedy, cruel, gluttonous, or proud, again, a very Christian-centric view of the world. It is best not to stare at the sun directly, but we do gamble here. 30% chance of possessed or 20% chance of lunatic. Well, firstly, we barely have any of those traits. In fact, the only one we've got is cruel, and that's a side effect of our raiding. I don't give a shit about that. Am I going to gamble losing... We lose cruel, but we've got a 50% chance of getting a shitty trait, basically. That's not worth it. That's too much of a personality overhaul for our man. Could you imagine if I did that, though? My God, that would be hilarious. Sorry, guys, we're a lunatic now. We're not reforming the religion. I'm not brave enough for politics. No, thank you. Right, let's get to York. Oh, screaming arrows. Damn it. You've received a report on the outcome of the military experiments that your marshal asked you to sponsor. Apparently, a new kind of self-propelled arrow was tried out based on Far Eastern models. Lit by fire, these arrows would scream and fly away, leaving a trail of smoke and explode on impact, killing several of the livestock used as target practices. Unfortunately, on the second trial, several of these missiles misfired. One striking the engineer dead and the other nearly killing the marshal. Lose 10 military tech points. He set us back, the freaking idiot, because he killed the engineer. He got away with it. He was also a lunatic. I probably should have predicted that, shouldn't I, really? My bad. Honestly, I think a quick trip around the English coast here. Again, nice caravan holiday away. We should have everything we need here for our reformation. It's kind of hoping we get one of those event pop, like... Oh, I've been feeling down recently. I need to seclude myself because that's like a 300. Oh, Jihad for Carthaginiensis. Okay. Well, good news. Great for you guys, huh? Not so good for Queen Helene. Queen Helene is going to get creamed. I hate that as an expression. It really does conjure up just a terrible mental image. The cream of the crop. Like, no thank you. I mean, something very different. 4,915. We're almost there. Don't panic. My common interest binds me together, not again, with Jihong. Your dedication to religious pursuits has been noticed throughout the realm. Absolutely they have, and they should be. Which realm? Are you talking about France? Or apparently Swabia has got an independence? That's very weird. Trapezius, that's not right. That's in the wrong place. They have very much been noticed through England and France anyway. We'll have to wake of destruction. Right, let's bring you guys down. How close are we to... Okay, we can go to Wessex then. That's alright. We can do pretty much round here. Come on. Do not die now. We're so close. How close is that Legend Mark? The Legend Mark is almost done too. We might hit both at the same time. That would be incredible. Come on, look, 40 more points. Fetches a good price. Thor Worker. We'll take the Thor Workers. That should do something for us. We might be able to build something new here. 4973. Go. Burn them all. 4984. Come on. This is painful. Just like little boots. Little tiny boots of piety. 4997. There it is, my friends. Exactly 5,000 with the Siege of Canterbury. Let's head back up to Iceland. I know we don't need to, but at this point, I think everybody should be there. Bring the retinues, the people who have helped make this happen. We've proven we have a pious man burning and raiding in the name of Odin. I think they deserve to be here as we fix everything. So, the religion of Sweden. This overpowered, broken religion. Created by Sweden. Thanks to some bugged AI. A corrupt and broken Filka. An awful Filka, to be honest. She's just terrible. A Norse Filka. Different culture. A lady that we offered land to. I gave her the temple. I gave her somewhere in our realm in a mad attempt to vassalize her and refused it all of her life. No more. We will create a new religion based on East and West unified. Begin the long journey to rebuild the corrupt and misguided Germanic faith. My God, I hope this works. I haven't tested it. That seems very promising. Okay, that was either a conversion or zombies. Baronale of Connor has usurped the barony of Connor. Okay, we're going to get a lot of conversion here. Now, oh, here it is. You know what? Let's start with this, shall we? The Dow-Germanic Reformation. Prince Mayor Godslayer Frederick of the land of the rice and snow, the sword of Odin has gathered the many priests of his realm, and together they have created a new scripture to lead the Han-Norse people, based on both the Germanic myths and legend of their homelands, and the balance and harmony brought forth from the Eastern Tao beliefs. The new Dow-Germanic religion emphasizes honor, balance, and harmony in all things, with Dow-Germanic people encouraged to please the gods and enter Valhalla effortlessly through their natural action, rather than seeking vainglory. Many Germanic pagans and Han-Norse people have begun to convert to this new unifying way of life, but some are reluctant to give in to this engineered doctrine. Honor and harmony. Excellent work. So now, what did I take from your many suggestions? I'll be honest, basically all the top ones. So, Dow-Germanic, our religious head, even though it says we have a religious head, technically we don't. I'll explain on that in a second. Right now is Liu Thor. Whoa, that's kind of impressive that randomly Liu Thor, the man who suggested this religious overhaul, got chosen. I promise you that was not engineered. It was purely random. That's a weird coincidence, but I suppose it makes sense when you consider he's got the highest learning and the highest religion. I think we made him our court seer too. Dow-Germanic was the natural merger of the ancient, well, not really, of the ancient Germanic faiths and myths found in Northern Europe and the elements of Far Eastern Taoism philosophy. Followers of Dow-Germanic strive for balance between self-sacrifice, both for the realm and gods, and personal glory. Only through true balance of both the light and the dark can one enter Valhalla, with the gods favoring compassion, fragility, and humility. Fragility? I don't know what that is. Frugality and humility, but also the followers journey to greatness without intention. The gods seek not being pleased, only to find Dow-Germanic's pleasing. Our high god is Odin. Our god names are, of course, Thor, the Thunderer, the All-Father, Odin, again, Frey, and Tyr. And the evil god names are Cthulhu, the Old Ones, and Jormungandr. So, a lot of people suggested that in the comments to make the evil gods Cthulhu and the Old Ones based on our dynasty's struggle. You cannot deny that we have literally fought Cthulhu before many times. We've got the bloodline to prove it. It makes sense that they would be evil gods. We've seen them with our own eyes. The scripture is the sagas. So our religious structure is autocephalous. A lot of people suggested either this or the pentarchy. Pentarchy is a little more work to get it working modded. Not saying I'm lazy, just saying I don't have a lot of time. So I went with autocephalous, and to be honest, I think autocephalous is more fun anyway. We've seen what happens when you put a man in charge of the religion. You get something as broken and as weird as the religion we played as for the past 200 years, thanks to Sweden. You also see what happens if you put a person in charge, a Filka. It all breaks apart. So instead, we've got autocephalous patriarchs. I'll explain more on that in a second. Now, the elements. Let me pull up the mod file so I can describe it a little bit better here. I will hover back over that in 1 second. Let me just Alt-Tab. Because I did annotate the mod file for my own benefits. Try and keep things nice and balanced here. I've strived for balance with open-endedness this time, rather than it just being very broken and single-minded. Hopefully, you will agree with me that I think this was the right decision. So, let me talk you through what we've got here. As Dungeon Master, I'm a fool. What was this religion called? Han-Norse. There we are. All right, religions and Han-Norse _ religion. Here we go. Right, so, what have I taken then? Let's go through feature by feature here first, and I'll explain what they've got. So, priests can marry. Religion allows women to own temple holdings. No opinion penalty against female rulers and heirs. Fairly weak rulers can prepare invasions. Fleet can navigate rivers. Rulers can raid infidel neighbors for loot. Daoist men and women can take 3 concubines or consorts. Can designate any valid offspring as heir, and there is and can exist no religious head. So, what features do we have in total then? So, general religion features. If you attack your same religion, you lose piety for doing so. And I thought that's an aspect of Taoism, the Taoism religion, but it also ties quite nicely into the whole unifying aspect. We've got autocephaly. Now that means that we have autocephalous patriarchs. Powerful priests are given power within the realm they are powerful within. So there is no religious head, but within the separate realms there will be high priests. In this case, the leader of our realm is Patriarch Luthor. He hasn't landed. You know, he doesn't have any sort of real power, but this is the guy. He's the most senior of all of the priests in our realm. When he dies, it'll go to the next most senior, but only within our realm. So if we want a divorce, we have to ask Luthor, as you can see there. But if another guy in, say, Ireland, because it's determined by kings. So if the King of Ireland wanted a divorce, when eventually we make a King of Ireland, because we're only a king ourselves, of course, right now, he would ask the strongest priest in his realm. When we make the Kingdom of Scotland, the strongest priest in the Scottish realm. So there's still a level of corruption possible, and you can still do certain things with it, but it doesn't affect the thing as a whole. I thought that was the most fun gameplay-wise, but also tied in really nicely to trying to root out, you know, corruption overall, as we've seen with the previous Silka. Priests cannot inherit. Just makes sense. And we can have 3 consorts. So the note I put with this one is this is a feature of both religions. Both the Norse pagan, or the Germanic as it's called in the base game, and the Daoist religion have the ability to take 3 consorts. So consorts for women, concubines for men. Now, Norse has quite a high short reign penalty. So if you're a new ruler, people will dislike you until you've ruled for a while, at which point you've kind of proven yourself. However, in Taoism, there isn't a short reign penalty because it's all about stability. So I've taken the average of both, and I made it the short reign penalty for this one. Now, I've also added landed kin prestige bonus. What that means is if you give land away to your family members, you get prestige bonus for it. And the reason I added that one is because it encourages you to, and will encourage the AI, not to hoard titles, but to give them away. I think it makes things more dynamic and more interesting if you haven't got one super powerful king trying to get as many duchies as possible, but is actively giving them away. I thought that's kind of fun. So features from the Viking religion that I've kept: looting, river movement, female temple holders, also ties into Taoism, that one. Allowing Viking invasions, being a seafarer, all of that stuff, all of that kind of raiding has been brought over. And that was suggested by more or less everybody in the comments. Even though it is quite overpowered, it's been so core to the playthrough that I've gone with that one. And that's basically what a lot of people in the comments said as well. We don't have, however, the aggression that the Norse religion has. So Norse rulers will frequently go out and declare invasions of war all the time, because that's just what they're like. We don't have that anymore because we have that balance brought in by Taoism. There has to be some negatives, in my honest opinion, for it to be interesting to play. That's why I didn't like that religion Sweden makes. It was broken as fuck. In this one, the AI isn't going to expand so much. They're not going to be so aggressive, which is going to hinder our realm, because you are encouraged, incentivized not to fight within your own realm, so they're not going to take your titles off one another. They're also not going to expand, which means we need to put in more work, basically. Then I've also removed the unit bonuses. So Norse inherently get like 15% faster delivery and force rate or something like that. That's been removed. Now, the big feature of Taoism doesn't actually have that much in base game CK2. It's a very much a neglected religion. But what it does have is total equality. It's got the feminism, what's it called, religion feature. And I thought that tied in actually perfectly to what we were trying to do. So many people suggested it, that we've got half the dynasty not doing anything. We've got a patrician-led republic. I have, and, you know, we've gone for tolerance over the course of this campaign here. It's tolerance 4, allows full status of women. We are the most tolerant realm on the face of the planet. Besides, apparently, the single province over here, for whatever reason, in Lhasa. Good for them. But along with them, we are the most tolerant place in the whole planet. It makes sense to allow the women of our dynasty, the Godslayer women. We've seen so many good Godslayer women who have forged bloodlines and done crazy shit that haven't been able to do anything so far. Now we can land them, and we have that incentive to land them from the other religion feature I talked about earlier. So we've got that. That's a big part of it. Women can also take consorts too now, which they didn't have before. I've also added the Taoism decision to pick a branch of Taoism here. So we can now select a specific sub-school, the same way you could do if you were Taoist, but obviously I had to make my own there, so it was Daoist instead of Taoist, just so it doesn't confuse the game, basically. Along with that, again, aggression is lowered. You can intermarry with other Taoists or Norse characters, not a Germanic religion characters, that is. And that is pretty much all there is to it. But it's kind of an interesting... Of course, we still have access to the Wolf Warriors. We have access to the Hermetic Society. I had to add a load of custom stuff to make that work. It was a fucking nightmare. So, everything's good. And we have Ancestor Worship. A lot of people said, please add Ancestor Worship. So I've thrown that back in too. I've got Ancestral Harmony again. You can't have two decisions that are identical in the game. And I didn't want to edit any base game files in case you were playing with a big mod pack or anything. So I found a workaround for that one too. Do need to make some icons for it though at some stage. So we can begin Ancestral Worship too. And that is that. I've tried to include all the features that were most commonly upvoted and popular. So we've got Ancestor Worship, the Cthulhu being added as an evil god there. We've got no Filka, etc, etc. So I think it's a nice compromise without being horribly broken like the last one. Anyway, let's get back on with playing the game now, because that's been a lot of talking. Does this even work? Oh, it does work. That's good. I didn't test it. I've not actually seen this one before, because I don't think I've ever played Taoist, or at least I haven't much anyway. So the Changqing School of Supreme Clarity, the Shanzhen School of Complete Perfection, and the Zhengyi Dao, the Way of Orthodox Unity, are all very prominent schools. Which would I follow to become a better man? Okay. So the follower of Zhengyi gives low revolt risk. We lose 2 diplomacy but gain martial and intrigue. That's interesting. Quan Zhen gives lower build cost and build time. Oh, very good. Higher health, lower fertility but lower martial. These are all base game decisions, by the way, that I've retooled. Or Shangqing to infuse my spirit with wisdom. 3 learning, 1 diplomacy, -2 stewardship. I love the idea of going for this one, especially when we're later in life here. Our guy's a lot older now. +1 health. -10 build cost, -10 build time. We lose the martial and the fertility. Our guy's getting on a bit. He's not going to be leading troops, but it also doesn't affect our personal combat or anything like that. So I think we go +1 health for sure. All right, I'll take it. And that gives us a modifier there. There you go. Follower of Quan Zhen Taoism. Cool. And does the Ancestor Worship too? Should probably test it. Certainly seems like it might have done something there. Yeah, it seems like it's working. Okay, that's good. Let's give this lady an even challenge. I'm kind of hoping before that this fires, because this is probably going to fire very soon, I'm hoping our wounded will fade away. I'm a little bit concerned about that one, I won't lie. So we are on Theology Focus that gives health by default. Like I said, I think our guy, he's lived a long and hard life. I mean, he's only 54, but he looks like he's about 80. I mean, the wolf on his head isn't helping. He has fought a long and hard life, and he's I think, done a great thing for this realm. I should have made a bloodline for him. I will make a bloodline for him. I think he deserves it for reforming it. I should have just given him the reformer bloodline in hindsight. Let's let him retire. We could go, like, carousing. Diplomacy. That could be good. I'd become a game master. I like the idea of hunting. I think hunting ties both into the society a lot better, and it gives him that health bonus too. And I want to see if we can make this guy live for a long time. I think he deserves it. And I would love to honestly see the unification of Britain in that time. If we could take England, that would be fantastic. So let's see what we can do here. We do have the Chinese shields now for all of our duchies. They are quite obnoxious, aren't they? They're absolutely massive compared to Western. Like, that's the Western ducal shield. That's the Chinese one. It's just fucking huge. It's kind of crazy. And I'm hoping now with some of these changes, the Dungeon Master should be fixed and ready to clap our cheekies as well. So it's all going well. I think everything should be fine now. And you know what? We could form an empire. We need 3 kingdom level titles. We could do that right away. So what? And I said before, and someone made a really good counterpoint in the comments of the last episode. I said before I'd love to make the North Sea Empire, which is the unity of course, England and Scandinavia. But England hasn't been a key player in our thing at all, and we're up in Iceland. What about we make our own empire with Iceland, Scotland, and Ireland? Because the North Sea Empire was Sweden, Denmark. A bit of Sweden, but Norway, Denmark, and England with some of Sweden there too. Of course, made by Canute, but none of those are in our realm. So the North Sea Empire makes no sense. Whereas Ireland has been key to a lot of our stuff. Man, especially, has been a massive part of our campaign so far. What does Man count as? It's independent, right? Oh, it counts as de jure Iceland. That's how long it's been within our realm. It's moved into the land of Iceland. So if someone came and conquered Iceland, they would have a claim on Man because the two at this point are indivisible. Oh, that's really fun. A little bit silly, but quite fun. Okay, fair enough. Wait, what does Iceland count as then? Oh, Norway. Oh, so Iceland itself doesn't count as our kingdom title, the land of the rice and snow, but Man does? That's fucking confusing. Eventually, it'll probably... It'll what's it called? De jure drift, that's it. Out of Norway and into this new kingdom title. So Man and Iceland will be finally unified. The only land that we actually have a legitimate claim on is the Isle of Man, which is fucking hilarious. Okay, well, let's give some stuff away then. First things first. Oh, because we are now the King of Ireland, and nobody has already done it, we can claim bloodlines. High King of Alba, that's obviously Scotland. King of Moray. So we could claim some bloodlines here. I'm not going to do that because I feel like, you know, that's maybe if you're role-playing. We are role-playing to some extent, but not in that way. Let's make the Empire. The land of the rice. So forming an empire with this decision rather than making whatever the de jure empire is, which would be Scandinavia, that would give us de jure claims on all of this. So we'd be able to go take Estonia, Finland, Denmark, etc., etc. We'd just be able to conquest it. Whereas making our own empire is easier, of course, because you don't have to own 50% of all that shit. But we don't get any claims. However, it does upgrade our current title just into an emperor tier title. So the land of the rice and snow now becomes a full-on empire. That is an impressive shield, huh? The two-headed dragon, I like it. There are two dragons inside me. How did they get in there? Well, Bad Dragon's got a sale going on. That's probably how. Let's dish some stuff out. We can found an academy. Oh, if we get 75 count tier titles in our realm. That's a weird way to... I don't know why you wouldn't just do realm size, but that's beyond me. You need 75 counts? Number of titles of tier count in the realm. Why would you do that? Somebody modding in a weird way. I disagree with how you've implemented that. You've lost marks. But now, let's unify stuff. So... Oh, the question is, I suppose, a better question. Did all of our vassals convert to Han Horse? Again, it was based on opinion. Zealous characters would have refused to have converted. You know what? Let's go like this. Search vassals. Not my religion. Sorry? Oh, ruler, yes. Yeah. So who didn't convert them? So this guy didn't convert. The Chief of Galloway didn't convert. Oh, interesting. So this is going to be a little confusing. I didn't add a custom religion icon because in CK2 modding, there isn't always a dynamically add icons. You define it with a single strip. And that strip has every single icon in the game in it. So if I were to add a custom one and you were to play with a mod that replaces it, loads after my mod, that would just be given some random icon, whatever is on the strip at that point. I thought just go for Reformed Germanic, given that's basically what it is anyway. Going to be a little confusing. So obviously like this guy, for example. Not many of them didn't convert though. Look at that. The Duke of Man didn't convert. Oh, you big bitch. Why? I guess just low opinion of us, huh? Cynical? Oh, shit. Okay, we got unlucky there. So by rank. So we didn't get the Duke of Connacht. It's annoying. Duke of Man didn't convert. Okay. Duchess Leoforu of Cumbria didn't convert. She's in my realm. No, she's not. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck about her. Oh, she's in my prison. The Duke of Albany didn't convert. Okay. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, actually, to be fair, a fair amount didn't convert. All right, so that's what we'll have to put in. The other thing worth mentioning is much like the cultural conversion, I prefer it rather than everything instantly flipping overnight to, you know, when you reform normally, your whole realm will flip over, like overnight. I personally don't like that. I don't think it makes any sense. So we've got Old Germanic here. And and over time, similar to the cultural conversion, they'll flip over. But of course, we can actively convert people with. We can send Luthor out there, and honestly, with 44 learning, this man is gonna run circles around them. County rulers convert 5% chance yearly. That doesn't seem like much. That it's actually massive. So let's start converting the capital. Get them out there. The peasants aren't just gonna instantly think, yeah, this new religion's great, are they? Oh, is that our color now? Whoa, like how would you describe that? It's like kind of a cobalt gray, like a petrol tinge? What the fucking kind of color is that? I don't know how to describe it. Okay, what was I doing then? I don't remember. Oh, of course, we were going to give away, now we're an emperor. Let's give away some kingdom tier titles. So who do I want to name the king of Ireland? We have Gonzhong, fantastic name. He's also married to my niece. He's got minus 27 opinion of us, though. Probably because we hold too many titles. Because they want Ireland, of course. Okay, fair enough. We've got this guy here. Zhu Qian the Frog. Don't like you. 14 opinion. Yuan Chong's son. This guy kind of likes us a little bit there. This is where we start dishing out houses to people, too, by the way. Like renaming them. Helgi, the Lord of Leinster, really likes us. This guy likes us a lot. I think that the tactical choice, right, is give it to Gonzhong. Because he's married to our niece. So I'm going to give him the Sovereign Republic of Ireland. Ireland apparently includes part of South Wales, Devon, Cornwall. That's a bit confusing. It's a bit messy, isn't it? Don't like that, but that's okay. There you go, my friend. We have a king of Ireland now, and he should get his own patriarch. He did get his own patriarch. There you are. So he responds to... Oh, his wife. His wife became the patriarch of House Goldslayer. That's powerful. That's kind of cool in a way, huh? We got like a piece of our dynasty there helping control things a little bit. Got a little bit more control over that one, perhaps. Okay, interesting that she got in charge of that one. Scotland. Who do we make the ruler of Scotland? So we've got Hawker Yi of Moray. He's not bad. He's not a terrible character at all. We've got Budley Zhong. He has minus 15 opinion. What's your opinion? Minus 17. What have we got over here? You are a revolt, so I'm not going to give it to you. Or she is not only frightening to look at. She's not a very good ruler, is she? Oh, she's also the one in the revolt. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, let's give it to... I'm going to give it to Hawker Yi. For no reason other than I love his name. So that one is yours, my friend. The King Yi of Scotland. That's fucking great. Gets his own round priest, like I said. Who have you got? Wow, look at this guy. Zhao Ji. What a guy. And that's all we've got. Oh, we can make the Kingdom of Wales. What am I talking about? We can make the Kingdom of Wales, no problem. Gwynedd. 38 opinion. He's got Damascus Steel Sword. Oh, we've got Wang Cha. You're not bad. You actually like us quite a lot. Let's give it to Wang Cha. Here you go. Wales is yours, my friend. You don't get much of Wales. You're an island. You'll have to fight over that one. Fantastic. Is that all of our stuff dished out then? What have we got? Baseland, Grand City of Zeeland, Grand City of Dong Eastland. So the only duchy level title we've got then is Land of the Rice and Stone. So we're good as far as round titles given out there. Fantastic. A little bit of round management. I like it. And we can make these guys our councillors now. So we're going to make our advisors, I suppose, the kings. Feel sorry for the King of Wales there, who didn't get any, didn't get a seat on the council. To be fair, though, pal, you've got like 6 counties. I'm not fucking around with that. He's got his own patriarch. He can't complain. He's got a lot of religious stead there. Look at that. That's a lineup. I like it. I like this religion structure, personally. So, oh, also worth mentioning, then. No, your friend can't be marshal. The holy sites are made for the religion. I've chosen places that I think had significance to our... Well, they haven't words either. What the fuck? That's not right at all. I've chosen places of significance to... What? Oh, that's showing Germanic. That's why I'm confused. Ignore me. So I actually can't show our holy sites yet, right? Wait, Uppsala, Lera, Zeeland, Finnmark, Isle of Man. Right, so for whatever reason, it's showing Old Germanic, and that's for whatever reason, just because we've got something selected there. So Isle of Man is a holy site right there. Finnmark is our original province where we came from. Sorry, it's Nordland here of the Duchy of Finnmark, but it doesn't have a temple. So that one doesn't actually count as a holy site yet. We'd have to capture it and build one. Isle of Man is, again, another holy site there, but is under our control of a different religion. So we've got to convert that over. Zeeland, of course, we've already started working on there. I thought I'd make this a religious site because it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Then we've got this one in Denmark. I thought that one was significant because that's kind of ties back to our Norse ancestry. It's the only one that we've got there. And Sweden, too. So we've got 2 Norse ones. We've got the Isle of Man, because that's been so integral to the entire campaign. Our current capital, and then our original capital. So I thought that was nice, a nice combination of everything going on there. So it's been a lot of talking and explaining, but I feel like it's very much necessary, you know. Faction of Yi, what do you want? You are a glory faction. You are also, you're a prosperity faction. What are you the faction of? Glory, got it. Prosperity. This guy wants independence. Why? What you can't... What do you want independence for? Fuck off. What? Get out of here, you big bitch. See complete independence. Like hell. Increase council power. Oh, God. This is where things get a little tricky. We're about to be mired in bureaucracy because it's an empire. Now, that brings me on to my next point. Who the hell is going to be our successor? We've got Yuan Chong or Xuantong Carroll. Now, Carroll is a very good warrior. He's actually very good at diplomacy. I was going to say, who do we want to lead an empire? But this guy is a master of Chinese law, don't forget. Even though he's apparently a drunkard and a lunatic, he might be one of the most skilled diplomats in our realm. And you know what? I think I'm going to name him successor. I think he's... Oh, my bad. I was holding down... I was holding down a keyboard key. I thought I'd broken something then. Designated region. Who do you want to lead if something bad were to happen to us? Honestly, can I just give it to my son? Like, he's legitimately probably the best ruler we could have. State Inquisitors? Sure, let's just give it to anybody at this point. He could be High Admiral. Keep him happy. Shut him up, you know? This is great. This is fantastic. Can we hire tutors still? That might be something I have to adjust. But there it is. Our new religion for a whole new round. We're probably going to have a lot of religious uprisings. We have a lot of religious problems because our entire realm is basically a separate religion right now. Next thing to work on, of course. We've apparently got to declare war for Rouen, which I'm a little bit annoyed by because I don't want to do that. But it will help fill the legend bar, so absolutely we'll do it. We can holy war because we're reformed. Hey, that's fun. I just want like Rouen, though. Have I got a holy war for it? Oh, fuck. What is that? That's, not Flanders. It's too far over. That would be Normandy, right? I could just check rather than guessing. Yeah, it is Normandy. Unfortunately, we can't get it. Oh, you shits. So you want me to declare war for a place I don't have a bloody claim on? Oh, really? Holy war for Flanders, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we actually can't take it. Wait, they've given us something that we can't do. We could border dispute them. No, that won't work either. Oh, you shit. I'm going to cancel that mission. Otherwise, we've got to fabricate a claim and then go for it. Oh, there you go. That's exactly what I was hoping for before that legend fight. Now, I won't lie, our personal combat is dog shit. And I'm getting a little bit concerned that when we go on this legend, we're just going to die. It would be a hell of a way to die. It would get us into Valhalla. Because we've lived our life, I think, in harmony. You know, we focus a lot on scholarly pursuits, theologian pursuits. We've got that warrior lifestyle going hand in hand with that. I think we would just die if we went on the legend right now. I'm a little bit concerned. Is there anything we can do? Go for war focus. That will allow us to train. Fuck. I think we're going to die. Yeah, I think we're going to die, and I think there's nothing I can do about it. What a sad day. Okay. We're still going to try, of course. I'm not just going to say no to it, but we'll see how that goes. Apologize that today's episode has been almost entirely chatting and talking, but there was such a big change to everything that I thought I needed to kind of break it down there. I will timestamp it so you can skip over if you're truly not interested, but don't act confused when next episode you have no idea what's going on. Be on your head, be it. We'll be back to regular gameplay. It's going to be high tension tomorrow no matter what. 7%. We're going to be able to fill it with this guy. I think we'll succeed. And then we get to be a lunatic again. A lunatic in charge of an empire. It's going to be really bizarre. All that and more tomorrow.